Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Modexus Rising Stars. My name is Randy Anderson. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for Modexus. And one of the things that I enjoy the most is to be able to take some time and get to know our advocates in the field, and especially our team leaders. And today we have a special edition of Modexus Rising Stars, because you are going to get to hear from our brand new 5K advocate from the Indianapolis, Indiana area, Liz Geeslin. So with that, Liz, how are you today?
Oh, Randy, I'm doing great. And thank you for inviting me for this interview. This will be wonderful.
Well, we're glad to have you, and I know everyone would be thrilled to hear what you have to share today. But what I'd like to do, if you can, at first, is just tell us a little bit about yourself. You are an interesting person. I think it's safe to say you do a lot of different things, wear a lot of different hats, besides being an outstanding field rep for our company. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, in a nutshell, I was born in New York, grew up in California, and I was born a horse crazy little girl. And I was fortunate that I think my parents instilled my entrepreneurial spirit, in that they said, okay, if you want a horse, well, figure out a way to earn money for it. Of course, I'm 9 when they're telling me this. And I got busy. I started mowing lawns. I went on bottle drives back, when you got money for returning glass bottles. And took me a couple of years, but I did save $125. We bought my first horse. And the great thing too is my parents did follow through. They said, okay, she saved the money. I guess we're going horse shopping. And so one thing led to another. That ended up becoming my future career. I became a professional horse trainer and was blessed with the horse whisperer gene, if you will, and had a very, very successful 35-year career as a professional horse trainer. And then as I was approaching 50, decided I really wanted to be in a profession where I could genuinely help people. And I had gone through a more or less of a health transformation, gotten my weight under control. It wasn't outrageous, but just started focusing on my health. And so I was introduced to personal chefing and decided to take that avenue. And I've been now a personal chef for 19 years. And then was introduced to a company before Modexus that I was involved with for a period of time. But then now with Modexus, it's everything has come full circle for me. And this has been just another caveat for me to be able to serve others. And it's just really been a blessing and just fits beautifully alongside my personal chef business.
Well, what an amazing background. And I love the horse story. Getting that $125. I think those of us maybe would date ourselves a little bit, would say, yeah, we used to collect the pop bottles, right? Cans and whatever, and you get a nickel a piece or a dime a piece. But you know what? It does teach things, right? It teaches good life lessons, and maybe there needs to be more of that today, right? So,
right.
Listen, everything that you've done in your life then brought you to Modexus, and you're a very important part of our field leadership team. You contribute consistently on a regular basis, great content. You've got a growing group. Obviously, you're a brand new 5K with the company, so we congratulate you for that. That's a significant milestone in our smart pay system. But what got your attention right out of the gate with Modexus? What makes Modexus different for you and for your team?
Well, probably the first thing, of course, for me was I had an outstanding, unexpected product experience. But I was introduced to Modexus by somebody I really trusted. And I was on a different product with a different company that I really had a lot of faith in. And she, with her knowledge, she said, I do believe, Liz, that this is a superior product. And I went on, and actually another woman who's on my team, Adrienne, I told her about it. And I said, look, you're my person that, she works for Big Pharma, but she's an RN, has her doctorate or her in master's in holistic nutrition. And I actually asked her to more or less vet Modexus for us. We were both in this other company before together. We weren't in the same team, but we just had connected and became close friends. And she took the time and did it. And she said, this is a company that's unlike any other company, from this product that is created that Dr. Rouse has developed is unlike anything else on the market. And she, she knows her stuff. So that was enough for us to then really get involved, see everything that was there. And of course, the whole structure of the pay plan was absolutely so unique and different from what we had been accustomed to, which was a binary pay plan. And we thought, this is something that I think is really worth exploring, and let's get involved. So the rest kind of is history. For me, I just can't say enough good things about the people in the company, and Dr. Rouse. We are just so blessed to have him as our founder of the Product Research Council, and what he brings to the company, as well as yourself and Christian and of course Andrew. But it is something that is exciting to be a part of in this early stage, especially to feel really doing something that's really helping others in not only from the physical standpoint, but others that as far as from an income standpoint as well.
Well said, and thank you. And I appreciate you recognizing that, but you've got a great team growing that I know recognizes that as well. So in building your team, I know you are, first of all, you're always so upbeat and positive. You always have a way of finding the silver lining in everything, and life has its challenges. I know, we all do, right? Have things that we just have to deal with every day, but it never slows you down as far as consistently getting out there and finding ways to share this opportunity, but you do it the right way. And you share the balance of the products and the opportunity together. Do you want to share with us a little bit? I mean, what are the key things that you do every day that you feel make a difference for you and your team?
Well, I think, and I don't know if this is more or less sort of I don't want to say easy for me, but becomes natural for me, is because I've been self-employed my whole life. Customer service is key. And I really think it's key with anything. And I have a way I keep track, and like all of my customers, especially the first time they order, I always go in ahead. I know when it's going to be shipped before it's there, and I'll send them a text. I try to go that extra mile, because your customers become your biggest cheerleaders. They can end up organically spreading the news like, hey, I'm feeling so great on this product. Oh, by the way, go talk to Liz, go talk to Rand. I mean, where then they're going to spread your name because you've taken such good care of them. And I think they are our strongest resource. And what's interesting is those that I think can already see the business aspect of it, they will almost on their own. Those that are, even before they've gone, have really tried the product. In fact, I just had a new customer, a gal I've known in horses for years. And she then brought it up. She said, well, I can see that this is something that this really works for me. This might be something I'd want to get in from a business standpoint. I said, absolutely. So, and I think it's really, for me, is I just really take the time to really listen when you're having a conversation with somebody, because there's some people that's like, they want to be on the products, but don't be talking to me about, do I have to do a business and be on a thing? And they've either had a bad experience or have been bombarded and been really literally sold to, rather than, how can I share maybe what we have here? Looking at it from sharing the benefits and just really listening, I think is just key. And I work on that every day, and for myself, and then teaching, my team to just do the same. And what's interesting is then you will tend to be a magnet then for people that go, well, I'm curious about what she's doing.
I agree with you. I mean, I think there's a reason we were designed by our creator with one mouth and two ears, right? And you are a good listener, and I know you apply that and teach that within your group as well. Listen, and a lot of times people will provide you a whole bucket load of clues if you just take time and listen, to what they have to share and learn
Right.
them. So you do a great job of that, I know. And something that I know you hear us say a lot, but you really are good at it. You take this to heart too, is it's important to use the tools that are provided. And having done this a long time, I feel like we have probably one of the best back offices in the industry, for that matter. But I know another thing you teach too is go dig a little deeper, go find it. If you've got a question, it's probably there. So
Right.
mean, I'll let you, kind of expand on that a little bit.
Right. Well, I think that by encouraging your teammates to learn to dig, I mean, obviously, I don't require my customers to. Most of my customers, I almost do everything for, which is fine with me. Some of them are perfectly self-sufficient, but as a advocate, it is important to know what is back there. And I'm there to support and help if they've exhausted everything, because I guess that's sort of how I had to learn. Well, especially in my previous company, it was a nightmare of a back office. And and so now our back office, it couldn't be any simpler. And where and then the tutorials that are in there, if there's little tutorials like this new advocate today, she's enough computer savvy that she'll be able to go in and set up her iWallet just fine. There's a tutorial there, and it's fine. Some people aren't as comfortable with the computer, and yes, then we can walk through. But for the most part, as far as building a business, our tool set and what is there, once you find out, well, I always ask, what kind of information are you somebody that wants a lot of detail, or do you want the 90-second? Or I have one new customer that said, don't send me anything to look at. Just tell me what to get. And I thought, so you have that extreme, and then the one that wants to read the book for a week. And that's okay. It's understanding and serving those where they're at. And, but we do. And like you said, the digging is just learn, go back in there. You don't have to get overwhelmed, but know where the tools are and keeping everything simple, which makes it then duplicatable. If somebody looks like, oh, I have to learn all of this stuff, you don't. Learn to find what you need when you need it, and then go, oh, it's there, and getting yourself familiar with it. Like knowing you don't have to go to YouTube separate. You can get to YouTube from your back office in there under our Rouse House. I mean, you couldn't make it any easier. I mean, it's extremely user-friendly. I don't know that there could be one that's easier to get around. I honestly don't.
I agree with that. And I don't think it is. And I think a little thing just like that, saying, the YouTube channel that we have, you can get to it straight from your back office. Or you can go into the YouTube app and find it yourself. Either way, but we've given you multiple avenues to do that. But the key word you said was duplication. Is, everything you do, think about, okay, how is this going to duplicate? And I know you do that even with your customers, because some of your best advocates will come out of your customer base. I know you are a firm believer of that. So you're constantly thinking about, okay, I'm going to teach them to fish. I'm going to teach them to fish rather than, give them a fish, because then I'm helping them see that I can do this too. Right.
Right. Exactly. And that's just, I think, just such a key, because I think, and what I've learned, I work with a life coach, that it's teaching a person, just like you said, to fish rather than giving them the fish, teach them how to fish, but also, so you're basically teaching somebody how to think through a problem instead of giving them the answer. It's like how to learn how to think through something. If like you don't know the answer, well, if I did know the answer, what would that look like? And just learning how to just really use your brain and just expand your brain instead of just being handed, okay, here's the answer and I'm doing everything for you. That doesn't serve them if I do that. I just lead by example. There's tools I will make that initially I'm making them for me because that's what I want. And then I'll say, okay, I've made these, but it's not like, oh, they're not capable, but they're there. And if they want to use them, great, but I'm not doing it for them because I don't think that they're capable. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
Okay.
Guys, I love doing the Modexus Rising Star recordings, and I think this is a perfect example today why Liz and her team have been able to achieve together the rank of 5K advocate for yourself. And I know you don't want to stop there, and you've got aspirations to keep climbing from there. But I also know it's important to you to work with your team member, your advocate team members, those that want to build and help them achieve those different milestones as well. So I guess in closing, if you would, is there any advice you'd like to offer to everyone listening? Maybe, how they can make a few tweaks and climb the ladder here as well.
I think just, staying consistent with your passion about where Modexus is fitting for you, and everybody's journey and desires are different. And it's a personal journey, but really go in your heart and do the best for you and others. I mean, that it's okay to say, I want this, I need that extra $300 a month. And I think what people forget is $300 a month changes most people's lives. And I think in this industry, the big downfall has been when they have these $1 million earners that say, oh, you can do this, be six figures. And you know what? That's just a bunch of noise. Just focus on serving others, doing it consistently. We have products that are delivering results, so the residual income is there. I mean, because the people are, your customers and advocates are reordering because you're getting results, and that right there is key. And to just focus, baby steps, stay consistent, be authentic, and your business will grow.
Be authentic. Wow, what a novel concept, right? But we've got to get back to the basics. What can make this industry so great for so many people? And you just nailed it. There are thousands of people out here that an extra $200 a month, $300 a month, $500 a month, which is very doable in our system. I know building the business and the extra income has been fantastic for you. I know that's very
yes.
But anyone truly can do this if we'll just get back to the basics of what made this industry great. So
I have one last little parting comment that for food for thought. Okay, when you talked about, I always see the silver lining on everything. Well, my mom as a little girl, she'd say, honey, you're just one of those kids that oh, if there's manure, there must be a pony. So whenever you think you're having a bad day, sometimes things come up that just really look like manure. And in a way, it might be something that's a blessing in disguise. So I think that always looking at something, the glass half full, is certainly a good way to look at life.
It's actually should be the only way to look at life.
I agree.
I've got one last thing for you too. So we've got this new formula called Product X. Do you think this might have some kind of amazing impact on your business and your team's business? What do you think?
I think so. I know from my customers, it's really been exciting to see the variety of the results women are having, which is, I think, awesome. And I definitely think it's going to be a product that is going to be a great gateway product too for individuals, women, men, or well, of course, it's for women, but that maybe aren't on longevity or Lift or any of our other products, to get them introduced to our company, and then seeing how that's going to work so well with longevity, just because it is something that's specific, especially for women. And, women, I do believe, are just getting better educated about, they just need to take care of their bodies. If you want to live a long, a life full of vigor, you have to take care of the vehicle. And our bodies are amazing machines, and the abuse we can give them, and if we can then help them do their best with the supplementations that Dr. Rouse has created for us, it's just, it's a shoe-in.
I agree. So the funny thing is, we're recording this, but by the time most people see this recording, their product, it will no longer be Product X. It's going to have a new name. So we get to have that little joke right here, right? But it's people are, time they hear this, they're going to be just off and running with this incredible formulation. And you're right, it is a phenomenal gateway or mind-opening product. So guys, here we have it. This has been another edition of the Modexus Rising Stars. Liz, thank you. This has been a delightful conversation. And for all of you, just pay attention, because we may be knocking on your door and want to tell your story as well. So Liz, thank you. And for all of you, stay healthy until next time. Take care, everyone.
Great. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it so much.
You bet.
Bye.